What's a bedtime story your parents told you, and now you realize it was messed up? When I was little, maybe around 6 or 7, my dad used to tell me a bedtime story he called The Lonely Boy in the Attic. It always started the same way. Once there was a little boy who didn't listen to his parents. He stayed up past bedtime, stole cookies, and never said thank you. So one day, his parents decided he needed to learn a lesson. As a kid, I didn't find this strange. It sounded like every other fairy tale, just a moral in disguise. I'd listen wide-eyed, clutching my stuffed rabbit while my dad's voice dropped to a whisper. They put him in the attic, just for one night. But he cried so loud the neighbors heard, so the parents told him, "If you keep crying, the blackbird will come." I always asked who the blackbird was. Dad would just smile and say, "A shadow that eats bad kids who don't sleep." And somehow, I loved the story. I'd beg him to tell it again. Sometimes I'd even act a little bad, so he'd tell it with more drama. I'd giggle and hide under the covers when he whispered, and the blackbird's claws scraped the floorboards, right above your head. Looking back, it was a messed up story. But it wasn't until I turned 17 that I realized how messed up. I was cleaning out old boxes in our garage before heading to college, and I found a stack of dusty photo albums. Inside were pictures I'd never seen before. One was of a boy, a little older than me, standing on our front porch, same brown eyes, same chin. On the back, in my mother's handwriting, it said, "Evan, age 10, summer before." Before what? I asked my mom about it. She went pale. She told me Evan was my half-brother. He lived with them for a while, years before I was born. Then one day, he was sent to live with relatives. When I asked why no one ever mentioned him, she just muttered, "It was complicated." That night, I brought it up to my dad. He stared at me for a long time. Then he said, "You were never supposed to find that photo." "What happened to him?" I asked. He looked exhausted, like the weight of that question had been on his back for decades. "He ran away," he said. "Because he was bad?" "No," he said softly. "Because we were." He never told me more. But I remembered something, a single moment from when I was about 5. I had snuck upstairs in the middle of the night thinking I heard something in the attic. A thump, a soft knock. When I told my dad the next morning, he just smiled and said, "The blackbird must be looking for you." And now I can't help but wonder if that story wasn't just a cautionary tale, but a memory. And if maybe the real monster wasn't in the attic, it was sitting beside my bed,